This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
So we have a great show lined up for you today, and we have a special guest, Mr. Larry Marlatte. And I want to start it off, Larry, with a quote that I heard you say recently. Sometimes life sucks. And that's it, right?
That's right.
And then Matt wants to add in there, and then you die.
And then you die.
Sometimes life sucks, and then you die.
Yeah, there's no way to avoid it in this life. I don't care how rich you are, how privileged you are, no matter what kind of situation, where you live, life is going to suck from time to time.
Yeah.
Right, Larry?
Yeah, you got to learn how to manage the suck.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's all about your perspective. You know, you could have a great life. You could have all the things that America has to offer and still feel like your life sucks. Or you could have all the disadvantages in the world and think your life is great and you appreciate everything. You're waking up in the morning, you've got this optimistic, positive perspective. You don't feel like your life sucks. But it's a pretty common thing.
But I think the difference, though, is gratitude.
Yeah.
Like if life sucks, you're like, yeah, life sucks, but I have this and this going on. Yes, it sucks, but I know this will happen on the back end. I'll make it through. Gratitude's a big difference between just living in the suck and overcoming it.
There you go.
But enough about that.
That should be the motto, the slogan of your real estate company.
What?
Made for more. Life sucks, but you can get over it.
Life sucks, but you're made for more.
There we go.
There we go. Thanks, Matt.
Trademark copyright.
But yeah, so we have Larry in the studio today, and Larry, I mean, I've known you, I think back since when we first moved out here. Mm-hmm. So that would have been 2018. So it's been a minute.
How did you guys meet?
He was recommended to us.
Oh, okay.
By another real estate agent. We were looking for a signed person, and he was recommended.
I thought you guys would have met in a cigar lounge somewhere. Cigar shop.
We have.
It's
like, hell, you're the guy I buy signs from. He's like, you're the guy I sell signs to. You know. So that's what Larry does, right? You specialize. You do a lot of different signage.
We do, but we specialize in real estate signage.
Yep.
Regular listings. For sale panels, open house signs, commercial boards, riders, pretty much anything that your industry needs to market the house.
And so when you were in high school and you were taking classes and they asked you, Larry, what do you want to do when you grow up? You said, I want to own my own sign shop, right?
No, that's not what I said at all. It was hard to get me to class, to be honest with you. That was not my forte.
Did you graduate high school?
Through a continuation high school program.
Yes, sir, I did. We had somebody on here recently, and she did not.
Never graduated high school.
She never went back to get her GE, but she's lived a successful life.
You know, I think it's more mindset than anything else.
Yeah.
I had a hard time sitting in the classes and just learning stuff by rote. I was already working. I started my first business when I was 14.
What was it?
It was a mobile truck wash,
really?
actually. I started with a buddy of mine who was 16 because he could drive.
Yep.
And we started washing postal vehicles on site.
Nice.
That was a referral through the postmaster at the original 2 offices we started was a friend of my dad's. And he'd taken over those 2 offices and needed somebody to come in. And we literally started it with a 5-gallon Home Depot bucket and a garden hose and sprayer.
That's cool, though.
And we started that in 1984. And I bought him out in 86. And in 91, when I sold it, we were responsible for every government-owned postal vehicle from Oxnard, Port Hueneme, across to Palm Springs down to the Mexican border.
Wow. Good for you. That's super
had
cool.
78 employees when I sold the business.
Wow.
No kidding.
Good for you.
What made you decide to sell?
I was working too many hours. We ran the business from home, and I was away from the house 80 to 100 hours a week. And it was just that was too much.
That's saying a lot because you work a lot now.
I do, but I've learned as I've gotten older to manage my time a little better too. There was also some regulations that the state was putting in place that I didn't really want to have to fight and try to revamp the business to accommodate. I'd already done that once, and we had to change basically our entire operation, buy different equipment, do different processes, and then effective in 1992, California made it so that what you were washing off of a vehicle couldn't go into the ground or into a storm drain. They want it collected.
Oh my gosh.
They've backed off of that a little bit now. It's not as stringent now as they were trying to make it in the early 90s. But, yeah, it made it unfeasible to do what I do. Mm-hmm. And the company that bought me out, they were planning on fighting this. And, I'm like, here you go. Have a good day. Have a good time. I'm done.
Take it and run with it.
So, yeah.
But so one of the reasons why I enjoy just having conversations with you is you have a unique perspective because you speak with tons of different brokerages and tons of different agents. Mm-hmm. And so
from an outsider's perspective, I want to ask real quick.
Yeah, it's here.
How is it working with folks in real estate? And
oh gosh.
Are they pleasant people to work with? Are they a pain in the butt? Are they aggravating and frustrating? Do you just want to slap them every once in a while? Or how are they to work with?
Well,
be honest. Johnny Jennings is not here.
The real estate industry is a cross section of the population.
There you go.
I have some outstanding customers that have become personal friends. There's in any industry, in any job you're working, you're going to have some customers that are harder to deal with than others. I'm not for everybody.
Right.
So, but I'm also a customer.
I feel the exact same way about myself. Well, that is another great slogan.
I'm not for everybody.
I'm not for everybody.
Made for more. I'm not for everybody.
Well, but this is also a customer service business, so you got to kind of dial back your personality sometimes, and just provide the service, provide the customer service. So overall, I enjoy what I do. The real estate industry, I work with contractors, I work with small businesses, for vehicle signage, for, some building signage. We don't do a lot of that, but, some specific stuff we will do.
But you've been doing this, Paradise has been around for 16 years?
Yeah, I started that in 08.
08, and then you were doing signage before that.
Mm-hmm. I worked for a company in Roseville. I got into the production manufacturing side of it in 2003 with a company, Signs Plus of Roseville, that no longer exists.
Did you buy them out, or did they just cease?
Sort of. They ceased, and I purchased the equipment and the rights to the name and all that.
Okay.
From that original owner. And prior to that, I was an installation guy. Starting in 99, I started putting in, I was literally the guy that drove around in the truck with the posts and put posts in the ground in front of your realtors' listings. But I also I worked for that sign shop that I just mentioned and two others as their backup outside installation guy. So if they had a business that needed their hours on their storefront or on their glass door, that's hard for a small shop, 1 or 2 man shop, to get out of the shop at 11 and meet a store owner. Yeah. So I was doing a lot of that stuff. At that time, my primary source of income, I worked a graveyard job in a warehouse. So I'd get off in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, and it's like, oh, okay, I can side hustle a couple of things.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was throwing posts in for a few realtors that I knew, and that's really what got me going on it. I went to work for the shop in Roseville because he really, really wanted to do more real estate signage.
Okay.
And I knew a lot of realtors, so I started doing outside sales for him. And then that eventually evolved into the production management of that company. So
in 25 years, what are some things that you see that stands out to you with real estate agents between people who make it in this industry and people who struggle and fall out?
The people that treat it like a business are always busy.
Mm-hmm. So what do you mean by that, like treat it like a business?
Well, we're in a unique kind of market right now. We don't have to get into the the specifics of that, we can kind of all agree that this is a little different right now than it was 3 or 4 years ago. The agents that I see that are always busy are going to survive. And by being always busy, you might not be showing a house today, or you might not be going on a listing appointment today, but you're doing something.
Something real estate related.
Something real estate related.
Yeah.
You are contacting past clients about, hey, do you know anybody that is thinking about buying or selling? Do you know anybody that needs credit repair that I can put them with my lender to help them get ready to buy a house?
Yep.
You're constantly doing something to improve your business. Even if it's just, getting your open house signs out and wiping them down and making sure they're clean if you have an open house coming up, or you can sit somebody else's. So it's just, it's being focused on business.
Yep, that is so true. So many people, like as far as real estate agents go, I've only been doing this about 9 years, licensed 9 years, and people who've been doing this 10, 20, 30, 40, almost 50 years are telling me this is the hardest market that they've experienced. And so if you were working hard, it was hard to be a real estate agent before. 87% of people were quitting in 5 years or less. But it's way harder now because there's way more agents and fewer sales taking place. Mm-hmm. And so if you're not out there moving the needle in some regard every single day on the business, then just pick something else. Be an Uber driver, get a state job, but you're not going to last in this industry if you're not putting in the work every single day.
Well, and I think one of the failings of the industry over the time that I've been involved with it is real estate industry as a whole does a poor job of educating and preparing new realtors, especially younger realtors, for what they're in for.
Absolutely.
This is the worst job in the world. I mean, it can be if you allow it to be. Yeah.
Why would you say that?
Well, because you're having to go out and sell yourself to people about their largest single purchase. 99% of them are going to make their entire lives.
Right.
And if you don't understand going in that it's a personality contest, you're probably not going to do well.
What do you mean by a personality contest?
You have to be comfortable with talking to people. You have to be comfortable with the back and forth, because they're going to, some of those clients are going to have some hard questions, or maybe they're just a pain in the you-know-what.
Right.
And you have to be able to field all that stuff without getting upset, irritated, or offended.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
It is, especially in this climate, in this culture. It seems like it's a lost skill that has fallen away with our society. Yeah. Especially with younger people.
Absolutely. And, when I say they don't do a real good job, telling them what's involved, this is a business. Like, you own a business, like any other business. There's costs involved. I mean, we're talking about signage. Mm-hmm. You have to have signage to do this job, on either end of it. You want to hold an open house, there's not a lot of agents floating around that are going to go, hey, just use all my open house signs. No, they kind of expect you to get that kind of stuff yourself. The way I equate it is, I said it's the worst job in the world, with the possible exception of defusing live munitions under fire. I don't understand why anybody would want to do what you do, Johnny. It's just, it seems like you get beat up a lot.
It is. You get beat up a lot, but man, when you win, it feels good.
No, I get it.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great point.
And I'm sure that's what keeps a lot of people in the industry.
Yeah.
But,
Totally get it. Well, when we come back from the break with Larry Marlatte, we are going to be talking about how he got started in the business and real estate trends that agents you should be implementing. This is what he's seen on the ground, boots on the ground. And if you want to reach out to Larry, just Google Paradise Signs, or just text or call us at 530-GET-MORE. Just text SIGN to 530-GET-MORE, and we'll get you connected with Larry.
Matt, you and I both own our homes, and we know how expensive and crazy it can get to try to fix up your house. And if you're thinking I need to sell my house, but I can't afford to do all of that. Well, Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team can help because Margie and Ben needed to sell their mother's home in Rancho Cordova. Of course, they wanted to sell in as-is condition and for top dollar, so they didn't have to spend all that money to do the upgrades. And Johnny Jennings was able to get them 8 offers and sold the house for over $20,000 over list price. And they had their cash in hand in just 17 days.
Yeah, Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team, they are great. We trust them. They've got this program where if you don't have the time or the money to make those much needed repairs to put your home on the market, they'll help you out with that. Plus, they've got more 5-star Google reviews, almost 800 of them, than anyone else in our area. There's a reason why they were voted #1 team in Roseville for the past 3 years. There's a reason why they sell homes 27% faster than anyone else in our area. Expect more, get more with Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team with Made for More Realty, brokered by EXP. Just Google Made for More Realty today and get more for your home. License number 581837.